Now it's recording.
And we're back.
We are back
the
again.
internet has connected to the computer once again. Hello, internet. How are you today?
This is Ravings with Tana and Bill. We're rocking it out.
Tana, she's Bill.
Maybe that's how it works.
I don't know.
Yeah, we spent a good 15 minutes working on my hair because it looks all jacked up. But
I'm having a bad.
He looks good. He looks good. Okay. This is the best you guys are getting today. So this is it. This is how I look when I haven't slept and I'm mad. So.
Anger. It makes me look terrible.
It does. It makes me feel like an ugly person on the inside and the outside, apparently.
You gotta drink perfume. That'll make you pretty on the inside.
I'm drinking special herbal coffee.
Herbal reishi coffee.
Reishi, yeah. Reishi is a type of mushroom available in China. Well, it's, I guess, available everywhere now, but originated in China. It's good for your, like, everything, basically. Unless you take, like, heart pills, it's not good for you then.
Help you keep the wang up.
My wing is so firm, dude. Oh my god, it's so good.
I can't. Wow, we're not even.
Everybody, wing.
Hi, internet. This is Bill.
We're starting over, but we're just not editing the other stuff out.
Hey, fuck that other stuff.
Hi, this is my coffee.
So anyway,
yeah.
I know we're way late on this because it's been breaking for a long time. The NSA wiretaps you're talking about, Mr. Snowden.
Yeah, that's my man. Oh God, Snowden, you're hot. Oh God.
Didn't you say he landed in Russia today?
Yeah, he landed in Moscow this morning. It was bright and early. He was in Hong Kong earlier today, and then he snuck out of there with the help of WikiLeaks. God bless Wiki. And they snuck him. Well, and they didn't even sneak him out of the country. From my understanding, the United States made requests to the government to hold him there, and they're like, you didn't provide us with any information about
Don't let my kid go. We're coming to pick him up.
Right. You better just hold on to him. But yeah,
just get Mom says you can stay at our place.
Yeah. But yeah, basically the U.S. government did not provide them with any intel as to why they should hold him, so they didn't. And he flew with the attorney for WikiLeaks, from my understanding from the different websites and tweets.
That's kind of awesome.
Yeah.
I don't even think I'm following them on my Babbling Bill one. I don't think I've been following WikiLeaks, but I probably should.
I'm following 75 different anonymouses. So whichever's the real anonymous,
whichever one you are, just stand up. Take off the mask, dude.
Right.
Go.
But yeah. But I bet you that Anonymous is going to help Snowden out.
That's
probably Snowden is anonymous. Except his name is Snowden, so he's not anonymous anymore.
It just cracks me up that these people who are like, okay, America, here's this shit being done to you. We all band together and we're like, that's a bad man. Why is he telling us these things that we don't want to know about?
Well, and
we should prosecute him for being honest and open. Fuck him.
And that's the really scary thing is that he's being accused of espionage and stuff, and they're treating him as if he's a terrorist. And he's like, listen, the American people have a right to some legit info about what you're doing.
Exactly.
And then they're using drones, and they're like, no, we're not using drones for criminals. Well, then what the fuck are you using it for?
Why are you patrolling the skies with them?
Exactly, it's not for criminals.
Yeah, the whole system is just...
Jack.
It's like I've mentioned before in the past on some of the shows how I basically see this life as just one fucked up dream that I haven't awoken from yet.
Mine's a movie.
And it just keeps getting weirder and dumber, and the people around me seem dumber all the time, too, for just putting up with this shit.
That was me. I was the dumb one.
I've been dumb. I'm dumb all the time. I'm okay with it.
Well, but that's the thing is that when you know better, you do better.
Exactly.
And now that we've gotten more information. Well, that's true.
I mean, look at the whole, people talk, there's something I've got to do before we get into any conspiracy theory shit.
Oh, hold on.
I'm putting on the foil hat.
I'm going all out. I've got my hat, and I've got my bra protector, so you don't, Hi!
Hi, Boobalicious. What's happening over here?
Happy birthday, Mr. President.
Squeeze my man.
Now you can't see my nipples with your machinery. I don't care how many airports I go through. You can't see my nipples now when I go to the airport. That's another group of people that always want to act like you're a terrorist.
Oh, airport security?
Yeah!
Those people crack me up because really, they're just glorified security guards. They have no legal authority anywhere other than the fact that you're on the property of the airport.
And you want to get on the plane.
They're employed by the airport.
Right, and you want to get on the plane. If you don't listen, you don't get on the plane.
Yeah.
They got you by the balls. You want to get home.
Exactly. This hat is not fitting very well.
Yeah, mine is,
This is a piece of shit. This is a bad prop gag.
Mine's good. I'm going to make mine like a shark head. Mohawk.
There we go. Wait, no. I'm more like Errol Flynn. This is not working out well. Fuck it. They've been reading my brainwaves. They've been reading your emails. They're everywhere. The NSA wiretapping is...
Which of my email accounts? Oh, shit.
Yeah.
All of them.
What are you just going to the ones where I used a fake name in the past?
Even my Hotmails and my Gmails and my Yahoos? Oh, no.
All right. Obviously, I talk a lot about how I like conspiracy theory. I've read a lot about conspiracy theories and all this. I still listen to a lot of shows that are just whacked out, goofy shit because they're entertaining to me. But there are so many people out there that are talking like, we can't use Facebook anymore, man, because the CIA is like taking information out of it, and you can't use anything with Google, man. You can't use
I fucking hate Google Plus, though. I do.
The NSA is looking at them. You got to get special emails, and you got to encrypt everything. And I'm like, yeah, what are they gonna see?
Yeah, I do hate.
You're gonna look at the porn that I'm jerking at too? Fuck you. Look at it. I just assumed for the past 5 years that somebody is watching everything I do on the computer.
Oh, yeah.
So whenever I look at anything conspiracy related, I always open up a secondary tab with videos playing of men being fucked to death by horses, just to keep those guys entertained.
I think that in of itself is enough to issue a warrant for you, bro. That bestiality shit, they take that seriously.
Hey, you know what? It's the same theory that I have on whole downloading of music and people getting in trouble for that. Don't go after the people that are downloading it. Go after the people that are providing it.
Go after the people that are charging $30 for an album.
Yeah, you don't go after the guy who's got a dime bag of pot in his pocket. Go look for a drug dealer.
Dealer. Music producer.
Yeah. They're the same thing. You're addicted to your dumb music shit.
But as far as not using Facebook for one of your social networking sites, one of the many anonymouses that I follow said that he's like, you can't trust Facebook. I'm like, you're using Twitter. You're using Twitter. It doesn't matter. But yeah, I do like seriously follow like 100 different anonymouses.
It's not like I have time.
I don't know which one,
tweets, but
right. I don't know who's legit, so I just follow them all.
If one of them's the real guy, it's a good thing I was there.
Exactly. Then they'll be like, run, Tana, run. Thank you. Thanks, Eagle Eye.
What if it's one of the what if it's one of the fake ones telling you to run?
That's okay.
And you're just like running for no reason.
Thanks, Gattaca. Get the fuck out of here. I'll run, Forrest, run if I have to.
You know, I don't even see the point anymore. The whole world is going to shit. There's nowhere to go.
Well, and I know the wiki lawyer's not going to pick me up and put me on a plane and take me anywhere. I am glad for my man Snowden, though. Dude, run like a motherfucker. Stay gone. Dude, you're a man without a country. It's happened before.
The American people need to stand up and say something.
I like the guy.
Yeah, you know what? I've got no problem with it. The whole Julian Assange thing where he's kind of on the run because of what they call surprise sex. Basically, he had sex with a woman, consensual, and then after they finished and he took off the condom, he stuck it in again, and she didn't like that. So now there's warrants out for him all over the world, and they're trying to get him out of the embassy where he's...
Dude, but no joke, I would fucking call the police,
too. It's not got anything to do with that. I think that's a bullshit scapegoat story that they're just trying to get him for leaking information to governments of the world.
And it most likely is. It most likely is. But if there is any, like, I don't know, quick Dippin' Dots going on, I'd be fucking pissed. Dude, if it was obvious that, like, it was wrapped up for a reason, and then you just decided to do a quick hedge, what the fuck is wrong with you? I'm calling the law, too. And if
I can fully understand that.
Fuck that shit. You know, I was agreeing to, like, plastic consensual.
My thing is, I don't think that it probably never even happened.
Well, I don't know. But yeah, if it didn't happen, then that's some bullshit. But things often go from something this big to something this big. Right. But yeah, you take an issue that is, you know, moderately severe or serious and change it into something that's like catastrophic. And it's not catastrophically horrible. The thing that happened this week in the news that's horrible is that mother of that 4-month-old baby that allowed her pedophile boyfriend to come over and rape that baby to death and choke it. That's what people should be talking about.
Yeah, that's
not that other crazy shit.
All governments of the world should be hunting.
Right, but
make sure they have no asylum.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the kind of shit that people should take things seriously and be like, what? Yeah, don't worry about this other stuff.
It's the same thing. I mean, like, whenever you've got somebody bringing up an alternative viewpoint to what is, I don't know, mainstream, I guess, for lack of a better term. Anybody trying to destroy their information doesn't go after the information. They don't try and say, no, your story is wrong because of this fact and this fact and this fact. They just attack them on a personal level.
Always.
You make everybody... And we do this in all TV shows. Your network news. It's a fucking TV show.
But people love to just jump on the bandwagon of personal attack.
They do. Mm-hmm. We are all a bunch of childish bullies. It's really sad.
Yeah. But that's not even the first, like, politician-type guy that got arrested or was accused of sexual assault in the last 12 months. I mean, it's been popping up left and right.
Pretty much anybody.
Don't have sex with anybody that's not your spouse, guys, because there's some fucked up shit happening.
If you have
anyway, you shouldn't anyway.
Anything to do with leaking information that is bad for a government, you should probably just keep it in your pants from then on out. And that's like the general attack. Oh, well, he's a rapist. We've got to get him.
And that really is something that
that's something that everybody gets up in arms with. Oh, rape. Well, fuck him. We got to get him now. What if he wasn't? What if it's just made up bullshit?
Well, and we've probably all known someone that was falsely accused of sexual assault.
Oh, yeah.
For different reasons. All different kinds of things happen. But it's not something anyone should ever falsely accuse someone of, but it happens all the time.
Actually, I'm pretty strong advocate. If you are falsely accusing somebody and you can prove that you've been falsely accused to the point of getting into court, you should be able to prosecute the person that did it.
You should. If someone's falsely accused you of any kind of crime, especially something like that.
There have been all those cases in the past where young girls have claimed that teachers raped them. And even before
because they were upset about their grade or whatever.
Yeah, even before it goes to trial, that teacher has lost their job. They are not going to ever get another job. Yeah, that girl and her family, financially liable. You're paying this motherfucker his salary for the rest of his life because you're a liar.
Well, and then the only caution I have is that may make some women not come forward when they ought to. But if it's false, it's false. If it's not, it's not. It's really, it's black and white. Either someone assaulted you or they didn't.
Right.
In my opinion.
It's so hard to tell.
I don't speak for Bill. Usually.
You can assault me. I don't give a shit.
Oh, yeah. Hold on, guys. No, I'm kidding. Just kidding.
Yeah, take off the full head. I don't want to get scratched.
Right. Well, what about the breast cover here?
This one looks more like a yarmulke, so I'm just going to pretend that there's a Jewish conspiracy.
I'm sure there's at least one. Why can't you mix
so many out there?
Milk and dairy. Or milk and dairy, that's the two of the same thing. Milk and, dairy and meat is what I meant to say.
It's like the Jews they're really cool about everything, but we're not going to eat pork. Why are you getting rid of bacon, you bastard?
Because it's an unclean animal, dude. It's an unclean animal.
But it tastes so good.
It does. It's all of its filth.
Anything that wallows in its own filth that tastes that good, eat it.
Chickens wallow in their own filth and they don't taste that good.
That's true. Chickens are kind of nasty.
Did you see on the news about the beef industry, the issue that they're currently having with the beef industry?
What's the current issue?
The current issue.
I've heard about it in the past. I don't know.
Yeah, the current issue is that there was whatever company was testing a bunch of beef that they were going to sell, and that they're now saying about 50% of all meat is tainted with antibiotic, the antibacterial resistant germs. My mind just went blank. You know what I mean?
Antibiotic resistant bacteria.
That's it. You can't take antibiotics because it doesn't work on these damn bugs.
Well, your meat.
But 50% of beef, that's gross. You know how much fucking beef I've eaten in my life? I am just rancid with fucking germs, I'm sure.
I've still got pieces of steak in my colon from 10 years
I've got the MRSA from the beef bad.
That's what bothers me. I mean, we are willing to jump on the bandwagon and attack somebody's character and chase them all over the globe for trying to give us information that we should have. If our government is spying on us and treating all American citizens as though they're terrorists, somebody has to step up and say, whoa, this shit is not right. But to turn around and ostracize that person and try to destroy their character based on it, it's the same shit we do when somebody's like, hey, the food is getting to be poisonous, and these corporations are making poisons and selling them as foods and shutting down all the farms that don't sell their poisons. And we go, I'm going to McDonald's.
Well, it is, Burger King's releasing a rib sandwich.
My wife was listening to one of our shows earlier today, and we were talking about the rib witches.
Yeah.
This, genetically modified just clump of shit that looks like maybe it could have been a barbecue pork rib. I don't know.
Pig lips. But yeah, my dog would not even. McDonald's was selling those rib sandwiches for $1 because my lady bought a value meal and the sandwich was $1, so I bought one for my dog because it was $1. He wouldn't even eat it. I took the onions off. If anybody wants to complain about it, I took the onions off because we don't eat onions at my house.
People get on me all the time. I won't drink stuff that has artificial sweetener in it. It tastes weird.
Funky.
Yeah, it's got a strange chemical taste to it that I just do not like, and I can pick it out of anything. I haven't chewed gum in years.
I tried to sneak him an iced tea.
Yeah, that iced tea. I got a few drinks of it, and you probably saw me drinking a little bit of it, and I'm like,
Yeah, he's like, does this have aspartame or something in it?
Gross.
Yes, it does.
As a matter of fact, it did. But if you take, and people tell me, oh, you can't taste that. You're full of shit. It just tastes sweet. You can. Take a sucker that has aspartame in it, or any of those artificial sweeteners, and lay it on the sidewalk. And then take one that's made with sugar and lay it right next to it, and watch the ants. They won't touch that damn thing that's made out of artificial sweetener.
No, there's no food in it.
There's no food in it. There's nothing good for you in there. It's a poison. So
how come some people who sexually assault someone, they'll chase around the whole globe, and other people they don't? I'm thinking, my mind just went to Roman Polanski. And I know that that's like a super dead issue from like the 70s, but still, this guy can't come back to this country because he allegedly assaulted somebody. But they don't chase him anywhere, and he's still making movies. And I don't give a shit, really.
Because
I don't.
He's rich.
But these other guys are rich too. What's up with this?
Well, Snowden's probably not.
No, Snowden's
not. He was a public servant.
He was a public servant, yeah. He was an IT guy.
But I really don't know how they pick and choose. I guess it's whoever can get the most media coverage of their issue. Mm-hmm. That's the person that's going to be chased down. If you get your name in the media, you fucked up.
Rob Lowe didn't even go anywhere. He stayed in town and made movies. And he was convicted of assault against a minor or something. He had sex with someone that was too young to have sex.
Oh.
And yeah.
Well, that was back in the 80s too, wasn't it?
I'm just saying, was it less serious back then and now it's more serious, or why is it such a big issue? And I'm not saying it shouldn't be a big issue. I just want to know what the difference is.
I honestly couldn't tell you.
And why chase some people down and not chase other people down?
It doesn't make any damn sense to me at all.
It doesn't. That's why it's like...
How many high-powered American businessmen are going to Dubai on a regular basis to these sex clubs where girls are committing suicide on a regular basis because they're basically force-raped so the club owner can make money on a regular basis?
That's not the only place, dude. That is disgusting shit.
Dubai is just a major metropolitan area that Americans go to on a regular basis where I know this is happening.
What the fuck is with that, though? What is with this subset of people who think it's perfectly acceptable to take all their money, go to some foreign place because they won't put up with it here, and pay to rape little kids? What the fuck is that?
I don't know.
Sick motherfuckers. And they know it won't fly here. They're like, yeah, we can't do that here.
No, I can't do that at home because somebody will fucking lynch me.
Right. But I'm going to go to some other country where they have little children. Well, obviously all countries have children. Or they wouldn't be a country.
I need to go to some country where they're willing to sell me the use of their little children.
Yeah. How fucked up is that?
It's incredibly fucked up. Thailand's one of the worst for it. And oh my God, there's all kinds of porn out there. And hey, it's not a secret. I'm a guy. I look at porn. I've touched myself in the past.
With that hand, I bet.
Oh shit, it was that hand. But
unhand me, sir.
Hey, I have seen porn from all walks of life, and one of the most heartbreaking things I've ever seen in my life came from a pornography. You know, they have the money shot where the girl has to take it in the face. There was this girl, and I swear to God, I don't think she was even 16 years old. I was very upset by seeing that she was in the video in the first place. But she is just squinching her eyes shut and holding her lips as tight as she can. Yeah. And you can see, this is just destroying her soul, and she's probably going to kill herself afterward.
Yeah, that's terrible.
And this guy's just moaning away and having a great time because he bought some child on the street in Thailand and made a movie of it, and some assholes are paying to see it.
That's fucked up.
Yeah. And there are just shitloads of things like that on the internet.
And you know what? You find them without even meaning to.
Yeah, you do.
You're looking for...
pops up constantly.
Yeah, you're literally looking for an eggnog recipe. And all this crazy, I don't even... It's like beyond triple X. Quadruple X.
Yeah.
Cinquinto X.
I would like to see more of a hostile situation. You know, that beautiful movie where you go on vacation and somebody tries to kill you? Why don't we have more of that where people are going... Hey, I came to your country to rape children. Oh, great, come on this way. I got some great kids for you. All right, guys, this is one that asked for it again.
Well, but then
shoot him, be done.
It's the same fucked up guys that go and pay people to let you be tortured. It's fucked up. It's the same guys.
They're broken people. We have a lot of mentally broken people on this planet, and we just let them run amok.
Well, too bad that we're ethical, dude, because we could make a fat load of money doing some fucked up shit like that. And everybody could, is the thing. Everybody could make money off peddling kids or something like that. But thank God most people are obviously way more decent than these guys.
I really hope most people are more decent than that.
I should hope.
The fact that we don't see it on the streets all the time is probably a good indication that most people are better than that. But the fact that it exists at all, and if you know it's happening in your family or in your neighborhood anywhere, and you're not doing something about it, you're just as guilty.
Mm-hmm.
You're just as big a piece of shit as the guy who's raping kids.
But for real.
Don't let it happen. If you see it happen, either get a hold of law enforcement and have them take care of it and force them to take care of it, or just do it yourself. And I don't know. Don't take my advice. Don't get yourself put in prison over it, but
that's what will happen too.
I don't think I could stand if I saw somebody out there taking little kids off the street.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably crush his windpipe and then call the police and say, "Hey, I accidentally hit him in the wrong spot."
I knew a guy one time that had the police called on him because he was he was at McDonald's with his niece. It had nothing to do with McDonald's; it just happened to be the location they were at. But they were at a fast food restaurant who shall remain nameless. And playing the Playland, right? And it was time to go. She didn't want to go, so this child's freaking out, screaming, "You're not my dad! You're not my dad!" While he's hauling her off to the car. And someone called 911, and they pulled him over just a few blocks down the road. And thank God they did, because it could have been a fucked up thing.
Well, yeah,
but come on, and we all know kids act like assholes sometimes.
Every kid acts like an asshole sometimes, but
yeah,
you've got to be vigilant about that thing.
We do.
And we've got, there's women are told, if you're being raped in an alley or somewhere
scream fire.
Scream fire, because nobody comes when you yell help.
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't
what kind of fucked up society are we in where someone were like, "I'd like to come gawk at this fire"?
Well, I'd like to help, but I'm sure somebody else will do it. Not worth my time.
But there is that whole majority, really, of people that will just drive by rather than help.
Yeah. I'm bad about it. I'm probably going to get shot someday stopping to help some asshole on the side of the street just because I can't help it. I'm a nice guy. But, yeah, so we were talking conspiracy theory and got way the hell off topic.
Not really, though. It's all related.
It's all related.
I want to know, because it does sound like it's so unrelated, but I want to know, why do they pick and choose who they're going to go after?
I really couldn't tell you. One of the funnier ones I found, there was a guy maybe about a year ago who had hacked the NSA or CIA's computers to get information on UFOs. And it sounds funny as hell, but they went after him hardcore. And, it almost seemed like they were trying to cover up the UFO thing.
No.
It could be. I don't know. I've never been abducted that I remember.
Well, and that's the thing, is that I'm sure you have been abducted. You just don't remember. Just like I'm sure that everybody was abused. They just don't remember. It was Father
O'Leary.
No, it was Mrs. O'Leary and her cow. She kicked over that lantern. That never fucking happened, dude. They blame that cow for it. The Chicago fire. That never happened. I looked it up.
We've been eating cheeseburgers based on that lie forever.
Right? Well, just like they won't let the goat go to the baseball game. And now they keep bringing the goat back, trying to break that curse. And it's never going to happen. You already ruined it. You already made all goats come after you for all eternity. It's not. That's conspiracy right there, the goat. Look that one up.
Well, I mean, really, there's the biggest thing. When someone says conspiracy, the first word in most people's mind is theory.
I like when people call other people conspiracy than their name. Like, oh, well, it's Conspiracy Bill.
It's Conspiracy Bill.
Because he's crazy and he's always talking weird stuff. But
that's why I own this hat.
Exactly. This costs good money. But that's the thing, is that, people automatically go to conspiracy theory, and it's always the crazy stuff.
Yeah, I mean, well, once upon a time when you were looking at them, they were mostly just crazy things like, we faked a moon landing.
Oh, yeah. How
Elvis is an alien, and he's really Bigfoot, too.
How the Holocaust never happened.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you people? If you think the Holocaust didn't happen, I don't even have anything to say to you.
I'm sure you could find somebody in your hometown, probably within a 2-block radius, that knows someone who died during the Holocaust.
It never happened.
Idiot. I don't even remember how many millions of people they killed, but we can use that as an example, though, because when Hitler was going around giving his speeches about cleansing of Germany, he wasn't just preaching hate. He was telling you, what we need is for Germans to come out of the woodwork and help other Germans and be good to one another.
Yeah, because Germans are the only ones that can create jobs for Germans.
Right.
And Germans are the ones that need to focus on German education.
He was speaking a lot about, social responsibility and taking care of one another and being good people, and then just kind of peppering it in with, and we need to slaughter all these people.
Well, that was really on the back burner, though, but it was mostly about patriotism.
And that's really where we have been ever since 9/11. We're just going to take away these rights here and it'll be okay. We just need to scan you naked into the computer to get you on that airplane. And really what it boils down to is we need to keep taking away your rights to protect you from the enemies that we created in your name.
Yeah.
And we're going to make it look like you're the enemy.
I listened to a podcast the other day, and God help me, I'm so sorry, I cannot remember which of the thousands of podcasts that I listened to the other day. Because I listened to literally 30 a day. So I cannot tell you which one it was.
Most of them are about
but they were talking about.
I think you're fabricating that number.
Right? But no, it was several, though. I did watch it. Watch/listen to. But wait, hold on. Yeah, but it was about Osama bin Laden. And Osama bin Laden was in the third Rambo movie. He helped Rambo. He's the one.
Are you serious? He was actually in the movie? I got to go watch that.
I am too. But yeah, well, and I can't say for certain that it happened, but this is what the guys in the podcast told me. So yeah, whichever podcast that was, it was awesome. I'm sorry, I just watched too many that day.
Well, really, most people don't realize how much we helped out in Afghanistan when the Soviets were trying to control them. And really, they called Afghanistan for the longest time the regime killer. Because no matter who tried to take them over, whoever tried to get in there and invade, they lost. You know, the Afghani people were tough sons of bitches, and they like having their homeland left alone.
Well, and why shouldn't they be able to?
Exactly.
Indeed.
Everybody, indeed.
Indeed.
Thank you for using my line. But the end of that,
ridiculous. The
end of the movie, Rambo 3, and the whole movie is based on him coming in and helping fight the bad Russians. The ending of the movie says something about this movie is dedicated to keeping up the fighting spirit of the honorable Afghan people in their never-ending struggle. And now we're over there trying to do the same shit.
Right.
We're trying to send Rambo back to fight the other way.
It's crazy. But, I mean, how part of, Americana must Osama bin Laden been to have his character portrayed in Rambo 3? I'm pretty sure he himself did not star in the movie. He was just somebody who's supposed to play him.
Man.
But yeah, we're going to watch
way off the conspiracy rails here. If you want to learn a lot about the bin Laden family, there is a video you can watch by Michael C. Rupert. It's a lecture he gave called The Truth and Lies of 9/11. And it has nothing to do with the whole 9/11 truth movement. It has nothing to do with buildings collapsing or the way planes fly. None of the typical conspiracy theory shit. He is literally reciting what he put together as a prosecutorial case against Bush and Cheney administration for their financial involvements with those who committed the acts.
Interesting.
And it is ironclad. His life was basically destroyed after he put out the book and everything, but yeah, it's fucked. But he will tell you exactly how the families are linked together, and I honestly don't believe that bin Laden was alive during the attacks. I think that they were so tightly interwoven between the bin Laden family and the Bush family that they didn't allow him to use the name bin Laden as the enemy until after he died of whatever problems he was having with his kidneys.
Yeah. I've heard that he was dead the whole time.
When you look at the videos that supposedly bin Laden puts out another video, they all look just a little bit different from one another. Dude, and they don't even sound the same.
That reminds me, though, of remember when that little boy, Elian Gonzalez, ended up, he was traveling with his mother from Cuba on the, on a little boat.
Going to export him back to Cuba.
And they were going to, well, the whole thing.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, that was. But the point of, my little story is that I was listening to these two old women argue about that's not the same little boy, that same little alien. They call him Alien. Alien Gonzalez. But it's Elian. But yeah, it's not the same little, quote, Alien Gonzalez because his hair's longer. I'm like, he's a fucking kid and his hair's growing. It's been 6 months since he was in the news last time. What the hell do you want? He grew a little bit and his hair got longer. But yeah, that just made me laugh. Sorry.
That's all right.
Alien Gonzalez.
But I think what I was getting to with that is bin Laden was a CIA asset.
Yes.
The whole... I'm messing it up.
Weapons.
I don't remember if it was Al-Qaeda or the Taliban. One way or the other. They were trained by the CIA...
I'm pretty sure the Taliban.
...to fight against the Russians for our Cold War purposes. And then when the Cold War ended, we just left them with all these weapons and nothing to do. And kept opposing ourselves on their country and the way their countries were run. And eventually they snapped and said, well, fuck you, and started fighting back. And we blamed them for that.
Right.
That's just like you getting your ass kicked on the playground by a bully and your parents saying, well, what did you do to piss him off?
I'm sorry, I wore the wrong shirt and he whooped my ass.
He doesn't like me, Mom.
Did you try to make friends with him? Did you? Did you?
We even gave him a gun and a bunch of weapons.
You're not supposed to buy friendship.
One of the best lines I ever heard about that, Bill Hicks, he's been dead for like 15 years or so, but he was a great comedian. And he said something about Iraq and how they had these weapons of mass destruction, because that was also the bullshit lie we got during the 91 invasion in Iraq. And what he said, when they come up and ask Bush, how do you know he's got these weapons of mass destruction? He's like, well, I looked at the receipt. That's about it. We keep giving this shit away. We do the same thing with the whole civil war that's going on right now in Mexico and over the drug dealing. The plan was called Fast and Furious, of all things. We named it after a damn movie, so it would fuck you up in a search engine. But we gave drug cartels high-powered weapons so we could track who was killing who.
Right. And that worked out super well.
It worked out so well because drug dealers need better guns to fight against the law.
And it would have never come to light if one of our agents hadn't been killed.
Exactly.
By one of those weapons. So that could have gone on for hundreds of years, not literally. So let's face it, we're not going to be around then.
No, we're going to wipe ourselves out. I have this slight bit of hope that we're going to wake up from a shitty dream that we're living right now and decide, oh, we don't need to do that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But that hope is waning every damn day because of the shit we do. It's just getting ridiculous, people. We got to stop being dicks.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I was, like, we're going to talk about this again, but I was eating some mulberries. And I was
mulberries.
Yeah, I do too. But I was eating them, and then I ate, like, probably 15 of them, and I was like, I wonder if I can feel chemicals on my mouth. And then I got, like, all concerned. I'm like, oh, my God, maybe my neighbor was spraying, like, weed killer, because I liberated them from my neighbor's house. But I was, like, became concerned that maybe she was using weed killer or all this, just, these weird things. I can taste the chemicals, I swear to God. And I probably really can't, but that's how, like, freaked out I've gotten based on our food products because of, like, the constant barrage of poisons, basically. It makes me scared.
We are so susceptible to psychosomatic bullshit.
Oh, yeah, I totally am.
Like, that's the whole thing with when I talk about conspiracy theories is, it might all be bullshit. All the things I just talked about might be complete fabrications that somebody typed out in a slightly higher than 8th grade reading level, and I thought, wow, well, that's better put together than the regular news. And I committed it to memory.
Mm-hmm.
Woody Harrelson got me. He had this documentary called Moving Forward, and he was, like, basically promoting sustainable lifestyle and stuff, and him and a friend had ridden their bikes from, like, Seattle down to San Diego, I believe it was, and they filmed the journey and made a documentary out of it. But somewhere it was a good show, but somewhere during the documentary, he mentions that the way they milk cows and how, they use these electric udder suckers, and there's blood and pus that goes into it. I couldn't drink milk for damn near a year without tasting some nasty shit in it.
I can taste the pus and the blood.
That's pus, isn't it? Fuck! Woody's right! I can't drink this anymore! Yeah. He might be right, but I got back to drinking it.
Well, I had a bad experience with orange juice with a little mix-in once and couldn't drink orange juice for like 5 years. It was gross.
Yeah.
But I felt like documentaries, especially, people who have big hearts like we do that are compassionate people, I fall for things all the time. I saw Coney 2012, and I was like, what? We've got to do something about this. And I got, like, all up in arms about it. They're like, maybe you should read a Snoops article about it.
Snoops.
Yeah, and I did. Snoops.
Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, Snoops. It's Snoops to me. It is Snoops, but it's
Snoop Lion.
Yeah.
Because now he's reincarnated. He's the reincarnated version of Bob Marley, even though he was like 10 years old when Bob Marley died.
That doesn't matter. His soul still went into him.
But I was
like how I was Elvis.
Man, and Bob came in and took over.
Well, I'm Elvis reincarnated.
Really?
Clearly.
I Cyndi Lauper.
See?
Wait, she's still alive.
Can you see it?
I can.
He doesn't, but I
and after seeing it, I'm all shook up. So.
That sounds like a Cajun Elvis.
Better than my Puerto Rican Tom Petty impressions. I can't sing his songs without sounding like I'm doing a bad Puerto Rican impression.
I don't recall I've ever heard you sing.
It's alright if you want me. Alright, I'm not doing that. That's just terrible.
Although, stay tuned for an episode of Babbling Bill when he does some amazing rap songs in a medieval, like, English voice. It's gonna be crazy.
I'm gonna need I gotta get some clothes from a buddy of ours because I'm gonna do it like a masterpiece.
Are you? I want to participate in that myself in some kind of weird way.
I was actually thinking I might need multiple people to do background voices on it.
I would love that.
They're just not going to be on camera while I'm doing it. That's okay, and I've got to practice a lot because I can't have you fuckers laughing at me.
I will too. Well, see, that's the danger.
It's going to be hard for me to not bust up laughing because I've been writing it out. And,
have you?
It's fucking hard not to laugh when I'm reading it.
Because I want to get together and do a Masterpiece Theater thing. I think it'd be awesome. It'd be funny. What we should do is that's what we should do. And this is going to be another one of our shows. Just wait. It'll just be in production for a while because that's how I roll. But we're going to do, because we need
like nobody's business.
Right, we do. But we need info. We need material that's not copyrighted. So I vote we go with Shakespeare because that's old as shit. And you know that's not got copyright anymore. And we'll
really write it anyway.
Dude, you know Shakespeare and Chris Marlowe were writing plays at the same time. And Shakespeare went shoo and got huge fame. Chris Marlowe, he got into a bar fight and died. No one knows his shit. And it was good. Chris Marlowe wrote some good shit.
I don't even know who he is.
Exactly. No one knows who Christopher Marlowe is. But he wrote at the same time Shakespeare did.
I believe
he wrote some good plays. They're good. One of you English majors out there knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Why would an English major be listening to this?
Because we talk about smart things.
We do. We're smart people.
What are you making a dreidel over there?
No, I'm just...
Oh, you were bending it and I'm making a point on the top. I thought you were making... It looks like...
This thing is.
I don't know. Up. It is. Yeah.
I need a much better hat. I'd do one with like Viking horns out of it.
I could probably do that with mine.
But the funny thing is, it totally blends into the wall. It's looking like
it's like
foil top Pippi Longstocking.
I feel like it's like. Well, see, mine's nice.
Yeah, it's not bad.
But yeah, it's got this whole doggy bag you're bringing your food home from the restaurant quality.
But the whole wiretaps thing is just. The NSA wiretaps drive me nuts because we've had all kinds of intelligence in the past telling us exactly what our bad enemies are going to do, and we don't utilize it. All right? We knew way beyond the shadow of a doubt. We had all these NSA reports that said Bin Laden plans to attack America using airplanes. And we didn't do anything about it.
Of course not.
So how the hell are we going to fight terrorism by wiretapping everyone in America?
That has nothing to... Let's just face the fact that it has nothing to do with terrorism. I don't know exactly what it's about. They're just nosy. But they already... And how many times do you have to be told the same thing? Like, I've been told for the last 20 years, oh, hey, you know the government's keeping track of everything you buy at the store? If you use your credit card or debit card, they keep track of that. And they probably do. And you know what? In 3 years, it's going to be leaked. Guess what? The government's been keeping track of your toothpaste.
I've been telling people forever that your cell phone is just a microphone GPS system that you carry around to teach people where you are.
Yeah.
And if you're standing there talking about drugs in front of the thing, you're a dumbass.
Well, and like, I mean, how many times can you be told the same thing before you just believe that, I think that really somebody is listening to me. I've been told my whole life that they're listening to my phone calls, that possibly they can watch me through the television like in 1984. I don't know about that, but you know what? Why does my alarm clock set itself? That's what I want to fucking know. I plug the damn thing in, and now it tells me what time it is. I don't even want it to say an accurate time. I like to be 20 minutes fast. But no, it can't be that way. And then, when I go to bed at night, when it's daylight savings time, I change the time, and it resets itself so that I'm 2 hours early to work. Assholes. And you know what? If they didn't have the clock be setting itself, I wouldn't have these problems. And I think it sets itself because it watches me. That is cute.
It's a good possibility. Hey, I do what I can. I'm a crafty troller.
Mm-hmm. I see it.
Now the aliens can't read my brainwave.
That is nice. We're just making stupid faces now.
This whole show has been kind of stupid, but we brought up a few good points. I think, maybe.
But really, I think that they watch me through my alarm clock because otherwise, why would it set itself?
I don't.
What's so important about my alarm clock?
Have you heard about the new? Shit, I'm going to mess up the name of it. The Xbox One.
Yes.
It literally has that Xbox Connect built into it where the camera is on facing you all times.
Mm-hmm.
And it has a function to it where if it's not connected to the internet for 3 days in a row, it'll just shut itself off and you have to call the help desk to get it turned back on.
So you have no choice but to game.
You have no choice but to keep this camera pointed at your house always online.
Wow.
How is that for fuck? And you're going to pay hundreds of dollars for the right to do this. That's fucking ridiculous. But people will argue for it. They'll say, well,
their biggest problem is, but how am I supposed to loan my games to my friends? They're all going to be online.
Yeah. Well,
but no, it's not about that they're going to watch you. Well, I can't loan my games to my friends.
When you try telling people, hey, the NSA is listening in on this, and they have been forever. This is old news. They're just letting out this real story.
This is killing me now.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably microwaving your boobs.
I know, right?
But
little baked potato
when you tell people about that, or you tell them about the Xbox camera and things like that, they say, well, It doesn't bother me because I don't have anything to hide.
Exactly. I'm not doing anything wrong. Why do I care? Well, I'm not either, but you know what? I care.
Well, here's the issue, though. They tell you flat out in this NSA press release after it went out public, they're only watching for certain types of groups. They're only following people through certain groups, but they're also following by proxy everyone who followed them. So if you go to a Google page that just so happened to have been gone to by a member of a terrorist organization, you are now on the list of people associated with that terrorist organization. It's the 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon over and over again. Why? Yeah, I don't give a fuck what you guys are looking at, really. Well, you can look at everything I have. It's nothing that's going to surprise you. If I had a camera on my computer, which I probably never will, you can look at... I'll let you watch me jerk off. I don't care. I'll send you a sample of what comes out. I'm a disgusting bastard, aren't I?
It's true. Well, that's true, too.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is that they're already watching. They already did. They already have been for, like, years. We already told you this, like, years ago. What do you want?
Yeah, well, people have been saying it over and over for so long. It's comical to me to see, like, it's coming out of mainstream news and people are like, that's fucking terrible. Did you see the score on the game last night?
Right. Who won on that singing competition
I hope they make it into the finals. Mm-hmm. I heard the hockey player hit a puck and it went, boom, home run, right into the net.
Yep. Touchdown. Yeah, that hockey's a great game.
Yeah. I don't know sports very well.
I don't either. Yeah.
That's
but
all right.
These are conspiracy theories I've heard over the years that will probably turn out to be true.
I probably know a lot of them.
Well, like your money, your currency, how they had to change it so it looked different so it wouldn't be counterfeitable, and then they put that strip in there that I've been told by like 100 different people, and I can't speak to the truth of this, but that little strip has microchips in it so that they can monitor the amount of currency that's coming in and out through the airports and such.
It's a radio frequency dye.
Radio frequency dye. There you go. But yeah, that's one of them. No. Well, that fluoride is being used to keep us docile.
That one really fucks with me.
Me too. I worry about it, actually.
When they first put fluoride in the water supply in the U.S., people knew about it, and they freaked out because they knew the Russians were doing that to their people as well. Mm-hmm. And the Russians flat out said it's a mind control device, keeps people docile. Mm-hmm. And we freaked out and they took it out. But then a bunch of dentists came along and said, well, no, we're doing this for your dental health. Mm-hmm. And people were like, all right, whatever. Well, it turns out that fluoride is not even coming from a natural source. It's coming from a toxic runoff from like steel mills and shit. It's a manufacturing byproduct, and we have no other ways of getting rid of it. It is not doing anything for our teeth. In fact, our dental health has gone way downhill in the past 60 years. If it was doing anything for our teeth, we wouldn't need to go to the dentist any fucking more because we have tap water to fix it.
Well, and what's with that? Why is it when I was a kid going to the dentist, obviously I drank water out of the tap, and then I go to the dentist and they put fluoride in my teeth still anyway.
And what do they tell you about that fluoride?
It's to make your teeth strong.
No. What do they tell you when you have the treatment?
Oh,
don't swallow this.
Yeah, don't swallow because it'll make you sick.
Every toothpaste that has fluoride and it has a big thing on here. Don't swallow this. Yeah, contact poison control if swallowed.
Do not give the children.
I'm going to swallow some now.
Tap water.
But really, there are people out there who claim that it not only makes you docile, but it calcifies the pineal gland of the brain. And the pineal gland of the brain is what produces DMT to help you dream. And it's also known as the spiritual seat of the brain. It's where your spirit is connected to your fucking body, and we're destroying it through tap water.
My spirit's connected to my elbow bone.
Yeah, luckily I kept mine connected to my knees.
Yeah, but I also heard, and these are just crap things I've heard.
Yeah,
but about
we're wearing foil hats for a reason. This is kind of silly shit, even if we're saying it seriously.
Yeah, but the fluoride I heard is chemically very similar to Prozac, and that's why it's being used. So it's good times.
Yeah. So what other conspiracy theories do you know?
Oh, well, I mean, we could go... My foil hat's falling. Well, I mean, like, there's so many from so many different walks of life. I'm just going to jump around every which way.
That's all right.
Area 51.
Yep.
Aliens, alien abductions, all that's being covered up constantly.
It's almost like... I wonder if there is any truth to it at all. But the way it's perpetrated, it's almost like... somebody threw out a story about aliens, and then crazy people went, aliens, I've seen aliens, I know aliens, and then they just went to their crazy friends and kept spreading the myth further and further, and it just keeps splintering off farther and farther, and there's just so much hokey, goofy, dumb shit about it.
Well, that's what I wanted to bring up was the alien autopsy. Did you see that? The one that was aired by Fox like 10, 15 years ago?
Yeah, with the rubber doll.
Yeah.
It looked rubber. It was not even close to being...
That one makes me want to do a shout out for the LARPers. Your aliens are way more superior in terms of autopsy quality than the ones on Alien Autopsy. Rock out, LARPers.
Well, when you look at like the special effects in the movies at the time, this was way, way low grade from there. It was a shitty C movie, not even a B movie.
Yeah. Well, but it was obvious it wasn't even as old as it was supposed to be.
No, not even close.
And then I watched the thing where they broke it down. They're like, you see that clock? That clock wasn't manufactured till like 1974 or whatever. And then and I don't know the actual times of any of these things, but yeah, they broke it down. They're like, yeah, this isn't real.
Which is funny because 74 is a reversal of 47, and the crash in Roswell happened in 47. It's another conspiracy.
It might be, except I just pulled that number out of my ass. Yeah.
That's like it. Yeah, we talked about that before, that Russian psychic. Was he French? I don't remember. But
I think he was Russian.
The more we watched that video, the guy talking about all these things that are going to happen in 2012, the more I realized, man, this is a new video made up to look like it's old. This is bullshit.
That's not real 70s porn, Bush. That's just...
I just had a shitty haircut, but yeah, I can make a video out of it.
Right.
Yeah, Area 51, though, is kind of fun. It's actually the Groom Lake Reservoir, and the name Area 51 comes from the Nuclear Regulatory Agency. It's a... Fuck, I can't even think of how to put it. You know, I'm not even going to talk about it. It's old news. The place is practically shut down, as far as we know. Who knows? What else you got?
Let's see. Other things I've heard of. Well, that they are... keeping us docile through what they're putting in our food sources as well.
That would make a lot of sense with the GMOs and passing laws to protect the GMOs while shutting down small farmers.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and that they don't even want us to use the terms GMOs. They're just high-yield fruit products.
Franken-friendly foods.
Yeah, high-yield fruit products.
Food-like substances. Chow down, fucker.
Right, a cheese-like spread. A cheese-flavored food.
If you go through, look at some of the generic shit on the shelves in the grocery store, and look at the cheeses. There are some that say cheese-like product. Or cheese-like food product. And you look at it, and that's no better than potted meat food product.
Nice.
It's not real food, but you can pretend it's cheap.
But yeah, see, and that's the thing about all the conspiracy theories that I've heard, is that they're all kind of around the same central themes of being controlled or watched, and being watched because you're fixing to be controlled.
That's been a big thing for a long time, and a lot of people like harken it back to the Book of Revelations and
the Mark of the Beast.
You'll have to have the Mark of the Beast to have any.
It's your social security number. It's your social security number, guys. That's what I've heard, is that the Mark of the Beast is your social security number / driver's license / birth certificate.
Yeah, there's
because you got to carry your papers around.
That's really kind of what's happening when we're carding people who are quite obviously in their 60s for cigarettes and alcohol.
It's to protect that 17-and-a-half-year-old.
Yeah, we're trying to protect the kids. What about the kids? Fuck the kids. They're teaching you to carry your papers. Welcome back to Germany, folks.
Yeah, that's about the size of it.
Yeah. There's another theory around the whole birth certificate thing. Have you ever heard of maritime admiralty law?
No. Yes. I know what maritime means.
Yeah, basically
what admiral means.
The laws of the sea.
Right.
And there are some who claim the reason that your whole name is spelled out in full capital letters on your birth certificate, your social security number, your driver's license and everything is because at the moment of your birth, this document is created to turn you into a corporation which can be bought and traded and whatnot on the stock market, and you were actually a commodity, not a person. And you never get anything out of it because when you write your name, you write it with some lowercase letters, don't you? That's why you have to have it all in uppercase letters, just like it is on your tax returns, just like it is on any business headings. It's kind of a weird, freaky thing. It's really long and drawn out. If you get into reading, it's very dry reading, but it's interesting. And it makes you wonder, what the fuck is going on in this planet?
Well, my mind is still wrapped up around Roanoke Island, and that's been something that they've been... Yeah, I will let you guys know whenever I finally finish that book. It's one of like 30 that I'm reading.
Yeah, I've got so much shit I'm trying to read right now.
Yeah, but I would like to know, though, how can an entire group of people just suddenly disappear? But then why do they tell you the story in a much more fantastical way than it actually was?
How do they even claim to know what happened? Nobody knew back then when the evidence was fresh.
Because they scratched out something in a tree nearby, the name of a nearby Native American tribe.
Yeah,
that was obviously
known that since the people disappeared.
Right. I mean, obviously that's what was up.
I don't know. That's a lot of weird shit.
Mm-hmm. But Atlantis, that's another conspiracy. Atlantis. And my little brother called me one day. He's like, hey, guess what? There's a video on. They have mermaids. And he's like, yeah, you got to catch it. It's like on Discovery Channel or whatever.
I still haven't seen that.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either.
I've heard a lot of people talking about it.
But yeah, so he's all excited about these mermaids that don't look anything beautiful like Ariel. Yeah, she's hot.
Nobody's sleeping with these things.
No,
but from what I understand, it was done by like Animal Planet or somebody, and they made it. It's one of those, if mermaids were real, this might be a documentary about them. But they're not real, so it's just make-believe. They did the same thing with dragons years ago, and it was a cool-ass show to watch. But they made you know in the beginning, the middle, the end, every time there was a commercial break, this is not real.
But why is it that even if they give that disclaimer that this is not real, it suddenly becomes evidence?
Because some people will buy into anything.
But are the Atlanteans...
Why else would I be wearing this hat?
Exactly. Are the Atlanteans actual mer people? I
don't know. Is Antarctica really Atlantis? Is that why it sank beneath the sea? Because it froze when the poles shifted?
Maybe.
Who the fuck knows? How about if we just concentrate on right here and now, where people are being cunts and hurting one another and enslaving one another and fucking up the whole planet and destroying the ecosystem that keeps us all alive for paper money that doesn't mean jack shit.
I was going to say that's because we place value in such fucked up things. We place value in these little rocks that don't do anything, but they're the hardest substance on the planet.
No value in life at all.
No, but it's because it belongs to inanimate objects.
Yeah.
That's where our value is. It belongs to stuff and things and shit that you own. I own a lot of shit.
Consumerism is the way to go.
Well, you need to consume the shit out of everything. Otherwise, how are you going to create American jobs, fool? You got to buy stuff. Don't you remember after we've had a national tragedy that our president came forward on television and said, go shopping?
Spend as normal. Just shop as usual.
Shopping.
We're going to get through this.
We can't let any planes in the sky right now, but we want you to get out to the mall. Quick.
Yeah. What a fucking joke.
Dude.
Everything about his presidency was a joke. Except for the parts where he's starting wars and destroying the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, which was helped out by the next guy in line. Those were just really dark jokes. But they're still kind of funny.
I didn't think he would leave office. I really am surprised that he actually left office when somebody else was elected that time.
There was talk about that he would actually hold on to the office.
Yeah.
Really.
I thought he would declare martial law.
What would we even do if somebody did that? Would we fight back? Would we stand up and say, whoa, we gotta stop this guy? Or would we be like, that's bullshit. I wonder when the game's on.
Well,
better go get some beer.
And I was watching, I swear to God, I watched so many documentaries and little podcasts. So Bill turned me on to podcasts, and I can't stop now. But there's so many downloaded onto my phone.
I don't even listen to music anymore. People see me with my headphones on all the time. Ooh, what you listening to? Something you've never heard of.
Well, you're right. But yeah, I listen to them a lot when I'm going to sleep, and because sometimes it takes me hours and hours and hours to go to sleep. And so but now I'm being lulled to sleep all the time by a podcast, so I start getting tired whenever I start hearing one. I'm like, and I gotta jerk myself awake.
Show.
Yeah, it's a good one. But I was watching one / listening to one or possibly with a documentary. That's how I'm over bombarded with media at this point. I've got a problem. But they were talking about the different wars and different things going on and why they're trying to keep arms from public people's hands. You know, why they're trying to limit the amount of weapons available. And then they talked about how people always say, well, but even if they took all the guns that we had weren't enough to overthrow the government anyway. And I'm not saying anything about that, but there's been a lot bigger problems caused by people with way less weaponry than that.
Yeah,
Even currently, there's people like in Turkey, in Cairo, when that whole thing went down, they weren't loaded with billions of weapons.
If an entire populace of people wants to overthrow the government, they could do it with sticks and rocks.
Yeah.
There are a lot more people in a population than there are in a government.
And I'm not advocating people go out in the streets and try to overthrow the government because really what the fuck's the point at this point? There's no purpose.
What are you going to do? Put your party in charge? Well, let me tell you something about that. And people always say this. What you need to do is put together your own party they got your views and your best interest in heart. Well, when you're building that party, they're going to end up falling into the same lines as all the other parties just to make their party successful. They're going to turn into the same cunts, but they're going to be preaching the bullshit you want them to preach. So you're going to follow those cunts instead of the other cunts.
It was I just had the name pop into my head of who was speaking about that. It was that wrestler that became governor of Minnesota or whatever.
Oh, Jesse Ventura.
Yes! And I was like, this dude is fucking brilliant. He really was. And I apologize to whoever's podcast he appeared on because the name of the podcast is still escaping me.
He's been on a lot. I listen to just about everything of his, but I also wonder about him sometimes. Is he a plant? Is he a conspiracy theory all on his own?
He could be.
But I'd love to talk to the guy. I am, yeah. I'm an alien.
We're both working against each other for the Fed. My check didn't clear, by the way. What's up? So if you're going to want intel on this guy.
I got twice the thing.
Yeah.
Jesse Ventura, I really like a lot of what he has to say because he's very plain spoken, and that's
why I liked him, is that he's just a regular guy.
We need a regular guy to just move up into politics and be like, fuck everybody else in the bullshit they're selling you. This is what's really going on. This is what we need to fix, and anybody that tells you otherwise is full of shit.
Yeah, well, and he said that the reason why he had to withdraw from politics after his 4-year term is that he just needed a break. He said he had to get away from those people. It's a totally different kind of life than what he wants to live.
Yeah, well, I guess right now he lives in Mexico and he surfs all the time. He lives on the beach, like in the middle of nowhere. Nice. He doesn't have electricity in his house, and I'm like, that's what I want to do. That's badass.
We want to be mountain men, except in the warmth.
He was a big supporter of Ron Paul, and really, Ron Paul. I really think that if he had gotten into office, he would have kind of just let big business run amok. But other than that, I mean, when it comes to like civil liberties and protections of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, he was very on point.
Right.
And whenever he was getting on stage during the debates and making these points, that shit was just getting cut out completely. TV ignored Ron Paul completely, and it was
he was
such
a laughingstock for no reason.
Setup. They made him one.
Yeah, exactly, because they didn't want to
promote people that weren't even in the race.
Well, Jesse Ventura was talking about, like, why do they even put the political party on the ballot? Like, why don't they just have the candidates' names?
Yeah.
That never occurred to me before. I'm like, that is actually a brilliant point. I have no idea why it has to be included. And it's so that it can be easy for people that I want to go all one way or all the other.
Exactly. I identify with this party because they like the things I like.
Right.
We need to get rid of the whole party system. Anyway.
That's what I'm thinking.
We need to be able to vote on every single issue out there. I didn't vote for a fucking $700 billion bailout that actually turned into $5 trillion that we didn't even know about until 2 years later.
I didn't vote on being taxed for my sins. These sin taxes, I like coffee.
Yeah.
I like things that are sinful.
I didn't vote on going to war with anybody. I don't have to fight for my freedom overseas.
I didn't vote on TV being changed over to digital so that my fucking TV doesn't work anymore.
I've never been overseas, not even on vacation. And I'm sure if I had been, I would have remembered to put my freedom back in the bag and bring it home with me. Or I wouldn't have left. You don't need to go over there and fight for my freedom. Freedom is an abstract concept. These people are filling your head with bullshit just to get you to rally behind them. Mm-hmm. You don't even need a hat to figure that out.
Or a boob cover, a foil.
So she got rid of the boob cover, and she still figured it out.
It was hurting me.
But we need to really change the way things are going.
Well, isn't that really...
There needs to be some big time public discourse on it.
There needs to be a lot of public discourse, because if we don't educate ourselves about things and have conversations about things, is anyone going to become aware of anything even happening? Yeah. So that's what we need to do. We need to have a lot of combos.
And you got to not be afraid to bring it up. I'm not. But then
people go missing left and right, Jack. Come on, you could be a reporter that's driving down the road by yourself in a car, and all of a sudden you're in a one-car accident and you're dead. I'm not saying that the government had anything to do with it. I'm just saying it could happen.
What a fucking coincidence.
Or you could be the guy who was a big actor on a mafia show and have a heart attack unexplainably.
I don't know if I would say it that way.
I'm just saying.
He was a bigger guy.
He was. And he appeared to eat too much unhealthy food. But you never know, who's being taken out for what reason. I trust no one now. I don't even know if your name's actually Bill.
This girl.
Yeah, I don't think your name's actually Bill. If your wife wouldn't have told me, who I've known for my whole life, then I don't think that's even your wife. It might not even be the same girl I know.
She could be the alien clone that I brought here with me.
It's true.
Oh.
I'm scared.
Yeah, me too.
I'm scared. Hold me. Okay, that was enough.
Yeah, I'm all better now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you never know what's true, what's wrong. Hey, just use your own personal judgment, but have some. And look into things. Don't just buy into shit. And turn off the fucking television news. If you don't know by now about Fox News being completely full of shit, I'll give you the one piece of advice. Go look up their 2004 Supreme Court decision, which shows that they have no legal obligation to tell you the truth about anything. That's what Rupert Murdoch fought for. They're telling you a bunch of lies. And he also owns a nice, big controlling interest in all other media.
I was going to say I'm not exclusively targeting Fox News. I'm going to say all network media.
Yeah. Look at how many of them have huge amounts of their controlling stock owned by GE, who also happens to